Hello friends, hi, how are we today? I hope we are all doing well. I am doing fantastic, and I am here for the week of April 17th through April 23rd, and I am using the Simply Gilded Spring Goddess Kit. I bought, I did it on a buy-sell trade last year. I got it on a buy-sell trade last year, and I know that it came with the green polka dot bottom washi. That's what the washi came with the kit, but I elected to use the pink because I am who I am as a person, and I just wanted that pink to pop a little bit more. But I think the colors show up really nicely on camera. I will say this, I struggled so much. This paper is just not paper for me. Like, I love all the washi, and obviously I'll keep the washi, but after I was done laying down this kit, instead of keeping everything like I normally do, I just couldn't make it work. Like, it was a struggle. This Plan With Me is longer than my regular Plan With Me is at 24 minutes, and this is severely cut down from the time that it was before. So, yeah, I think I am excited to get everything done and to get this spread done. It was a harder one to do, just like technically getting everything off the pages. There's a lot of jumps just because I struggled a lot. So much I struggled. So that was a little bit frustrating, and because it's not my normal format, I did go straight across. I will say the headers on this kit are much smaller than regular headers, so I did end up having a little bit more space. I only needed to use a day extender on one day, and that was Thursday. I didn't realize Thursday had been so busy. I guess because I listed everywhere that I went when I had written out everything, but, you know, such is life. I felt like this was a bit of a calmer week after the last 2-3 weeks of just like sheer nonsense and scariness. But it was also a tricky week in the sense that my baby was going through a sleep regression at this point, and I'll talk about it when I get into my day by day, but essentially every single morning that you note, excuse me, sorry, again, I'm so sorry. I do this like after my kids have gone to bed, and I actually just finished watching Ted Lasso, which, I was not emotionally prepared for that ending, but here we are. So anyway, the point is that anytime you see that I called the hospital to get an update on my dad, which was most mornings, some mornings I didn't mark it, but some mornings I did. It was frustrating for me because so shift changes from 7 till 8, right? So you're not going to get a hold of anybody when you call at that time. And since I was up at like 4 to 5 in the morning with my baby anyway, I figured I would just call them, which is actually a better time. It was quiet on the unit. So I called at that time a lot, and it was just, that's a lot of tough conversations for early in the morning, which is just how it went. But I decided to do something new with my bottom washi, and oh my gosh, again, I struggled with my sidebar this week. I struggled with my bottom washi. It just felt like everything was a monumental mess up. Like, I just, I don't know. And it feels like that bottom washi is really, really, really big. But it's not. Like, if I look at it laid down in my planner right now, and you should all go check out the actual pictures of my planner on CanadaPlannerGirl on Instagram. Yeah, it looks phenomenal. Like, as hard as this spread was to do, it looks absolutely stunning, and I am so happy with how it turned out. But as I said, I will not be keeping the stickers. The rest, like the leftover stickers, the sticker paper is too unwieldy for me to use. I'm a matte sticker girl, and that's sort of how I roll. So as I said, I started this process, and I decided to do the 3. So I had the 10 millimeter polka dot, the 7.5 decorative, and then the 15 mil bottom, which was the pattern of the bunnies in the kit. And I'm really excited because I don't know how often I would get to, like, in my Bujo for sure, but in my day-to-day planner, I don't know how often I would get to use that. But yeah, I felt like I was struggling a lot to figure things out here. And, like, if you want to see how long everything took, like, everything is sped up at this point. So yeah, it's just this took a while. And I really, really struggled with getting things off the page, which is so weird. It's, I do think that it's my basement, given how many kits that I've struggled with recently. And I just wonder if it's the humidity or lack thereof. I don't know. All I know is that I struggled. And every day is a struggle in this season of life at the moment. As I said, not a lot of sleep. But it's not forever. So it's okay. I elected to use the decorative headers again or date covers rather, because when am I going to get to use them again? And honestly, the spread just turned out so beautifully. I'm just so thrilled with how it turned out. As I said, a bit disappointed with the sticker quality, but otherwise everything turned out just perfectly. So, I was putting down the headers here, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do for the pattern of headers. So I ended up using these bow headers and then the sparkle headers that are next to it, or the star headers that are next to it. And I did alternating patterns. So obviously I went into the green, pink pattern to put down these headers Monday through Wednesday, and then on top of the full boxes I did alternating. So if there was a pink header, then I'd do a green, vice versa. And honestly, it was so much nonsense, because once I got to the second half of the week, I screwed up. Oh my lord, I screwed up so badly, and I had to pull up stickers, and thankfully they were quite forgiving on this paper. Sometimes stickers are, sometimes stickers aren't, but it was just tricky. I don't think I've ever pulled in my tweezers so much as I did this week, but I'm glad that I had them, because they definitely, it definitely worked out. And once I got into the groove of it, I feel like it went a bit quicker, but getting there was really tricky. I don't know why I didn't pause this part, because this was just boring, and honestly I'm running out of things to talk about with you guys, because I want to talk about it during my day by day. But later on in the week, I can't wait to talk to you about this one. It's intense. I cannot wait to talk about it. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm doing the alternating headers here, and I ended up doing the sidebar off camera. And if you are on my personal my Plannergram, you can absolutely see it, what I ended up doing, and you will see it later on in the spread. But I ended up alternating the washi. There's a candelabra chandelier washi that came with this Spring Goddess subscription box from Simply Gilded. So I decided to do a fully decorative sidebar. It's not super my jam. I don't love it to death, but I persevered and I made it work, and that is good that I did that. It does look really, really nice, though. I just feel like I need my sidebar to be a tiny bit more functional, even though it's a memory spread. I don't know if you guys do this, and let me know in the comments if you do, but I always go back and I look for meal ideas that I did in my sidebar, because I find that really helpful to planning future meals. Sometimes I get stuck in a rut. I don't know if any of you guys have this problem, if you have children, but my child's going through a very picky phase right now, and all of the stuff that he used to love, he doesn't love anymore. But not just yummy foods that he used to love, he doesn't love anymore. So I understand he's now 3, asparagus is off the table. He used to love that, and it was his favorite, and he wanted it for every meal, but now he doesn't want asparagus anymore. Totally get it. I understand. I get it. But things like spaghetti and meatballs were his absolute favorite. He won't even touch it, not even a little bit anymore. So I don't know. I need to go back and figure out different meals, and that's what I do. And I go back years in my planner to think about different meals that I was doing. And shortly you will see me realize that this is where I screwed up. And I was very, very upset about it. Not the second row, only the top row. When does that happen? I wonder. It has to be soon. It has to be soon. Here it is. Oh, man. As I said, I don't know why this was such a struggle. Like, this was a struggle bus plan with me. But that's okay. They can't all be winners. At least it, as I said, at least it turned out beautifully. And at least I caught it before it was like 3/4 of the way through the spread and the stickers had set. In other news, my no spend is going really, really well. Or my low spend, I guess. If I say it's a no spend, then I'll just like buy aggressively, but I don't need to buy aggressively. Like, there's nothing that I need really, truly that much. So, this is going really well and I'm happy about it. And, I am starting to get through like some of my content. Not that you guys really care. I'm just chit-chatting at this point to kill the time in the video. But yeah, I'm starting to get through my content and actually get filmed the stuff that I need to. For those of you on YouTube, I'm not sure if you have this issue, but I definitely have this issue where I cannot stand doing the description box. So that's really what takes me the longest. But yeah, I'm just getting into this, and we will get into the day by day very shortly. And I'm like so excited to be done this part and just like taking a breath of fresh air because this took forever. But now we will get into the day by day, and I will aggressively ignore the sidebar until I'm done my Wednesday and I filled it in. So first things first, I called neurology. Again, I didn't mark the time that I had called them, but I decided to keep on the theme from last week, which was using the leftover stethoscope icons. I loved it. If any of you are wondering, you do have to use a Sharpie on this paper. It won't, like the Clean It Energels won't work, but the Sharpie doesn't bleed and it writes really nice. I have a Sharpie Ultra Fine Point. It's a phenomenal pen, so that's what I used. Then I used a paper in Milk Maru to note that I emailed my family the AM update. And then I used a pair of socks from Paper and Milk to note that I did laundry. And then in the afternoon, I pulled in a half box and a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji to note that I was mom bossing it. I don't know what I did that day to make my kiddo so happy, but my kiddo was so happy that I thought to write it down. I wish I had wrote down what I had done because I could definitely use some of that now. And I used a leftover gold foiled cup to note that we had gone to Starbucks, and then a Clever Gal Crafts green bow to note that I uploaded my plan with me, and the green I think matches perfectly, or like almost as perfectly as possible with the kit. Then on Tuesday, I struggled trying to get this flag down. I didn't realize it was so much shorter than the size of the box. I was trying to figure out how I was going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to mark everything. Didn't love how it turned out. Struggled with it for a little bit and then figured it out. But I used one of the bows from the kit to note daycare drop-off, which was, I think, really nice. I don't know. I just like using, if there's a lot of deco or if there's a lot of like a repeating icon in the kit, I like marking daycare drop-offs the same way. So I just used the bows from the kits to note daycare drop-off. And then I used a Sweet Tea Sticker Co. grocery icon to note that we did groceries. And then we did Costco. So I tried to use as much from the kit as possible. So I used a little heart icon with one of the flags, and then the Costco script is from Magical Sticker Co. And it's just taking my time getting there. Again, it was a very light first half of the week. We were exhausted and honestly still emotionally recovering from the week before. At this point, my dad had been sedated for a number of days, and he was going to come off of sedation, or he came off of sedation just a few days before, and he was still like, we didn't know. It took a really long time to determine what damage he had sustained. And one of the things that I am forever grateful for, and now I'm behind, but one of the things I'm forever grateful for is that he had something called Todd's paralysis, which means that he which means that his paralysis was actually a temporary thing. And one of the reasons that his case was so complex is because he has a variety of medical issues, which I absolutely won't get into. It's none of my business to share with you guys, but they did not think that he had a stroke. They thought that he had a brain infection. And so, like, it's easy to talk about now, but it was really scary. We just didn't know anything. And it's very scary when the medical professional in the ICU of the hospital is like, we don't know what's going on. But very luckily, he had something called Todd's paralysis, which means his left-sided paralysis that people typically get with strokes was temporary. I just did another email update to the family, and then I changed the sheets. So that was all on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I had a shower. I had an everything shower. Typically, that's when I mark showers now. And then I took the train to Toronto. I just used a Coffee Monsters Co. I think it's supposed to be a beautiful day icon. But it looks to me like looking out a train window. So I thought it was perfect. And then I just changed around the order of everything to make it just a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So I used another heart with a foiled heart from the kit, and I noted visit with my dad. And then I put in the Starbucks because Starbucks, and my dad wanted like a sweet treat from there, so I got him a sweet treat from there. He wasn't allowed to have it. He had a breathing tube at this point, but I still brought one just in case. And then that afternoon I ordered my dad a Stanley Cup. He really wanted something better to keep his water cold in the hospital, and I said absolutely, I will do that for you. So I ordered him a Stanley Cup. I used the deco from the kit of the sleeping owl to note that I was team no sleep. My kiddo is sleep averse, as I've mentioned many times before. And then I used the paper and milk Maru again to note that I emailed the family again. I'm going to stop marking that after a while because I was doing an email blast twice a day. And then I started doing it once a day, but it ended up being like 40 plus people. I'm still doing it if we're going to be totally honest. So yeah, you can see the sidebar here and how the first half of the week turned out. Moving into the second half of the week, I did my morning call to neurology, which is where my dad was for a time. And then I did my same way of marking daycare drop-off as I had previously, which was just the flag and then the white foiled bow, which I don't know, I just really like how that looks. It looks really cute. I really enjoyed it. And then I put down a heart checklist underneath to note that I went to Sephora, Indigo, Walking on a Cloud, and Old Navy. I did a little bit of retail therapy to make myself feel better this day. And I had to buy my kiddo more clothing. Oh, wait, I just did things out of chronological order. This is when I realized that I was going to need a date extender for the day. So that was on me. But yeah, so I decided to move that. Again, things were just not in chronological order this week, but I mean, it's not a big deal at the end of the day. The bottle with the bow is from Dash of Sun Designs. I'm not sure if she's going to be bringing back her icons. She designed these herself. I'm just not sure if she's going to bring them back when she reopens her shop, which will be, I believe, earlier 2024. But I think that's the plan. So then I just noted that I cleaned the upstairs bathroom, and I had walked home from the mall, and that walk is only 3.5 kilometers. But what I did not think about was the fact that I would be using, all of the shops that I visited were very heavy, and I bought a lot of clothing. So I ended up having to, it's like uphill the entire way. It's wild. And then there's like 0.5 kilometer uphill, like very, very steep incline. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. So I didn't quite think it through, but that's okay. It was another hard day with the baby though. He screamed nearly the entire day, which was really, really tough. So I marked that. And I used one of the heart icons from the kit to note that I called Rachel. If you guys have been in this channel for a while, you know that Rachel has featured prominently. She's one of my planner besties. Just real life, just all around phenomenal human being. I also struggled with getting this laid down onto the day extender correctly, but I finally got it. Just took me much longer than I care to admit. So I marked the call Rachel on top because that was nice, and then I noted that my baby screamed all day, and then I had some gastro issues. I think I got food poisoning. It was that, or it was just like coming down off of the stress. It was not a good situation. And I just used the medical icon from the kit to note that. And then there was a Leafs playoff game that night, which I've been marking the entire week. So on to Friday. On Friday, I was so tired. I was up all night, incredibly sick. And then I woke up feeling fine, even though I only got a couple of hours of sleep. And I did daycare drop off that morning. So I marked it the same way. I had several phone calls that I had to make that day, and it was in regards to where my dad was going to be moved and what were the next options for him. So my cousin is an occupational therapist, and she actually works with one of the top rehab facilities in Toronto and in Canada, and so she said she would do her best to see if we could get him on the waiting list there, and we lucked out, and he got into it fairly quickly just because of the complexity and severity of his case, which was, I guess, a silver lining to this whole situation. So I called my cousin, and then I spoke with my sister, and then I spoke with my mom, and then I was able to call my dad, which actually made me incredibly happy. Later on in the day, my in-laws came over and dropped off their cat. And then there was a literal cat fight between my cat and their cat, so that was wonderful. I used a paper and milk Maru to note that, and then in a pickle was the cat fight, and then just a stay up late emoji from the Coffee Monsters code to note that I was up late with both of the cats, just getting their cat acclimatized. Hershey, he is not the friendliest cat in the world. The next morning we had a play date, and that was wonderful. Burned a lot of energy for my kiddo. And then it was so exciting. My kiddo had been asking for this literally since we had been in the hospital with my dad, but he wanted to FaceTime my dad really badly, and so we were able to do that, and that was wonderful. And then I noted that we did laundry, which is fantastic. We love doing laundry. Then we had another play date in the afternoon, and it actually ended up being lovely because they are one of our really dear friends, and they ended up staying for dinner when my husband got home, so that was really nice. And then my husband and I just had like a nice de-stress session together, watched the game, and that was lovely as well. And then moving on to Sunday. On Sunday, it was just a really lazy day, and I did some cool hand lettering, and I used the owl from the kit again just because I wanted to use up some of the deco. And then I had a really fun time. My older kiddo wanted to read books with the baby, and so he chose out books that he thought the baby would like. So I read with the boys, and I just used a Coffee Monsters Co. icon for that. And then my kiddo had gastro issues. I am positive it's from the half a cantaloupe he chose to eat in one sitting. The kid loves cantaloupe. I can barely keep him away from it. So that was a good thing. Then my husband came home. As I said, he works on the weekends. So my husband came home, and my kiddo just played with him, and they just had the most fun time playing together. It was wonderful. And then my kiddo pooped on the potty, which is a big deal if you are a potty training parent. Leave me a comment down below if you are. And then finally, I used a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji just to note that I went to bed early. So that was the entire video. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. Next week, it won't be so long, I promise. I will catch up with these videos eventually, but thank you for watching. I hope that you are staying safe and well, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Toodles.